Welcome! Let's continue the 4-channel amplifier review of AMD Lab company am104dsp3. Today we will talk about using scenarios of this amplifier. We will discuss 4 systems of classical layout, the front plus of a subwoofer, different level of complexity. The first scenario, 2 plus 1 or 3 plus 1, 2 or 3 component front and subwoofer. Channels 1 and 2 are connected by the bridge to the sub. Channels 3 and 4 to 2 or 3 band front. Bands or frontal acoustics are cut by passive crossovers. It is the most economical variant, inexpensive and the easiest in setting. The second scenario, 2 plus 1, 2 component front and subwoofer. Channels 1 and 2 work in mid-bass, channel 3 and 4 in tweeters. The subwoofer is connected to the separate amplifier. For this purpose, any of AMD Lab monoblocks is perfectly accepted, for example am104dsp3. In this system configuration, more flexible setup is possible, but the system still remains simple. The third scenario, 3 plus 1, 3 component front and subwoofer. Channels 1 and 2 work in mid-bass, channels 3 and 4 in the middle and HF. We are connected through the passive crossovers. The subwoofer works from the separate amplifier. Again, we recommend am104dsp3, or if it is necessary, more simply, AMD Lab AMMD1. And at last, the fourth scenario, 3 plus 1, 3 component front and subwoofer. Here we need 2 4-channel amplifiers. On the first amplifier, channels 1 and 2 work as a bridge to a subwoofer. Mid-bass is connected to channels 3 and 4. The second amplifier, channels 1 and 2 work for mid-frequency radiators, channels 3 and 4 on high frequency. The second amplifier can be the same, 100.4 DSP, or his young brother 80.4 DSP. The last using scenario is the most flexible, but also the most expensive, but it's up to you to choose saving or well settings. Of course, variants of the amplifier using aren't limited by described scenarios. It can be effectively used in multi-channel multimedia systems, and it is possible to connect to pancakes in a shelf. Everything depends only on your imagination. Let's try to set up the processors for the simplest first scenario. From the built-in audio processor in this system is required to separate subwoofer mid-bass bands, to correct AFC by equalizer, and to set the delay of frontal channels for compensating of difference in distance from radiators to a listening point. Would like to tell that our recommendations about the DSP setup aren't the full guide to action. Maximum, it is preset, draft configuring tracked, after which actually the specialist's work is started. Run the setup program from the previous review. Change 1 and 2 channels in the bus link mode. The cutoff frequency of the high-pass filter is set 25 Hz. The cutoff frequency of the low-pass filter is about 80 Hz. The type and filters order will be installed after the exact configuring tracked. And now, for clarity, put the maximum front and decay steepness. We cut the subwoofer range by these filters. The delay of our channels leave 0 as sub usually is in the luggage rack, and the distance between it and listener is maximum. So this distance is taken as a reference point. Frontal sub is another case and not for this review. On the channels 3 and 4, set the high frequency filter in 80 Hz and the low frequency filter in 20 kHz. The filter's order is on a maximum. Now about delays. Let's say that the subwoofer in our car is in 3 meters from the listener. The left speaker is in 70 centimeters from an ear and the right in 110 centimeters. The sound speed is 346 meters per second. Generally, sound speed in the air depends on many factors: pressure, humidity, temperatures, but we, for example, will take this figure. By calculation, the sound wave from the subwoofer will reach approximately in 8.7 milliseconds, from the left radiator in 2 milliseconds, from the right in 3.2 milliseconds. So, the wave from all the speakers reaches the listener at the same time. It is necessary to enter delay 6.7 milliseconds into the left channel and 5.5 milliseconds into the right. But in order not to convert this distance in the delay through the sound speed, in the program there is an opportunity to enter the delay in centimeters. In our case, in the left channel it is necessary to enter the delay 300 minus 7 is 230 centimeters. In the right, 300 minus 110 is 190 centimeters. Let's check. Enter 190 centimeters, switch from centimeters in milliseconds, and we see 5.5 milliseconds. That's right. Probably you noticed that the program doesn't allow to enter the random number. It adjusts it only to a known scale, but in general the error is insignificant, up to 4 millimeters, and you shouldn't pay attention to it. Now we finish our multi-series review. We won't sound our conclusions about this amplifier, you could see everything. Only hint that our impressions didn't differ from conclusions of the author's review in the Afterzwuk journal, where the amplifier received a leader medal. Thanks for attention.